All right, good morning or good afternoon whenever you're watching this. Today's Monday, but I'm going to go ahead and record these notes so that they're ready for you so you can go ahead and look at them anytime you want to. So you can go ahead and start this week's assignments. Just lay it all out so you can work on them any day you want. Monday, today, the only assignment you should be doing is your quiz over 1 and 2 step equations, combining like terms, distributive property. So now we're going to take that up to the next level. And like it says, we're going to solve multi-step equations with variables on both sides. Students will solve multi-step equations with variables on both sides using distributive property, which we already talked about being able to do, combining like terms, and inverse operations, which just means that you're going to do the opposite to solve those equations. So right now, some of these might look like pretty complicated equations to solve, but by the time we're done, you'll be able to do those no problem. All right, so first thing we're going to do, go to this next slide. This is what we're going to use to know which order to do things to solve equations. All right, I started using this last year and it made solving multi-step equations a lot easier for students. So what I want you to do right now, I want you to pause the video, and then when you pause it, I just want you to take these notes, write these down. Don't call me after midnight. DCMAM stands for distribute. So the first thing you're going to do in these equations is use the distributive property. After you look and see, do I have distribute? Yes, I'm going to do that. No, I don't. Okay, so I'm going to skip that. Then check, can I combine like terms? Then you'll see, okay, now I need to move the variables to one side. I have an x on the left and an x on the right of the equal sign, so I need to move them so they're only on one side. Then you add or subtract, and then multiply and divide. And if you use those in that order, you'll be able to get your questions correct without getting any little small mistakes, doing things out of order, and things like that. So go ahead and pause the video, and I want you to copy this slide. Copy it for your notes. All right, make sure you always do the opposite to get rid of something. So hopefully you've paused the video by now, copied all of this down. Make sure you have it ready, because I'm going to go back to this each problem and talk about each step that we're going to take to solve these. So let's go ahead. Now that you've wrote it down, please make sure you did that. If you didn't write it down, still have time, pause the video, write it down. Okay, you need to have this. So first thing, if we look at our first equation, we have 5x plus 3 equals 2x plus 15. So if we go down our list, first step is to distribute. So we'd look and see, do I have any parentheses? Are there any parentheses on the left side? No. Parentheses on the right side? No. So then let's go to the next thing on the list. Combine like terms. Can I combine 5x plus 3? So I've got an x, I've got a regular number, I've got a constant. I cannot combine them, so that's fine. Look on this side, can I combine them? Nope, nothing to combine. So we can't combine like terms. Go to the next thing on the list. Move the variables to one side. I've got a 5x and I've got a 2x. I cannot solve the equation with x's on both sides of the equal sign, so you need to get rid of one of them by moving it. You can get rid of either one. You have a positive 5x and a positive 2x. I would always suggest to get rid of the smaller number. It usually makes your equations easier. It also helps make sure you don't end up with any negatives most of the time. So if I have 5x and 2x, we're going to get rid of the smaller one, which is what? 2x. So we're going to get rid of 2x. So we subtract 2x from both sides. 5x minus 2x will give me 3x. We'll bring our plus 3 down. 2x minus 2x is 0, so that's gone. And then we'll bring our 15 down. So let's take a look. Have our 3x, bring them down, our plus 3 equals, and then 15. Now you just have a regular two-step equation, which is what you just took your quiz on Monday, and I haven't seen the results yet, but I'm hoping they're really good, and I think they will be, because you all were doing awesome with this before we ended up going to NTI. So let's take a look. I want to get x by itself. So remember this, we look at it, you can name the problem and do the opposite. So this is a multiplying problem and an adding problem. So the opposite is we're going to subtract and divide. So we subtract 3 from both sides. Now we have 3x. 15 minus 3 is 12. We said we were going to subtract, and the opposite is divide. So now divide both sides by 3. Always divide by what's next to the x. So then 3 divided by 3 cancels out. 12 divided by 3 equals 4. So x equals 4. And then you can always put it back in and check to see if you get the right answer or not, see if it worked. So x equals 4. So you can look over this problem, pause it if you need to, make sure you see what we did for each step, pause it and write it down as an example so that you have that, because you want to make sure that you do your best on your assignments this week. So like I said, you could substitute in and try. If you put 4 in for x, 5 times 4 is 20, 20 plus 3 is 23. So if we did this right and 4 is correct, then when you put 4 in for this x, you should also get 23. 2 times 4 is 8. 8 plus 15 is 23. So both sides were the same, so we got it right. All right, so here's our next equation. Go ahead and pause the video. Write this equation down. All right, pause it. Write the equation down. So now let's look at our notes. First thing on our notes said, check for distributive property. Do I have parentheses on this side? No. Do I have any on this side? Yes, I do. So I need to use the distributive property. I need to take minus 1. So remember, that's the same as just having negative 1 and multiply it by the 9, multiply it by the x. So we're going to use distributive property first. Negative 1 times 9 is negative 9. Negative 1 times x is minus x. And then we can just bring everything else down. X comes down, minus 4, minus 2 equals 8. And then it's just minus 9 minus x. Next thing on our list, combine like terms. All right, if you don't have this list, then that's because when we started the video, you didn't write it down. So make sure if you did that, you go back and write these down, because you got to have this list to make sure you don't make any little small mistakes when you're going through this. So now combining like terms, if we look on the left side only, can I combine anything? I've got an x, I've got a minus 4, and a minus 2. So I can combine the minus 4 and the minus 2. So if it's negative 4 degrees outside and the temperature goes down 2 more, what do we have? Negative 6. So a negative 4 and a negative 2 is negative 6. So that's where you've got to be careful, because I know a lot of you will look at that and you'll go negative 4 minus 2, and then you'll put negative 2. So be careful. So you've got x minus 6, and over here we can combine the 8 and the minus 9. 8 minus 9 is negative 1, and then bring down your minus x. All right, so all we did was combine like terms. X can't combine with anything, so we brought down x. A negative 4 and a negative 2 make negative 6. Bring down your equal sign. Always keep everything lined up with the equal sign. 8 minus 9 is negative 1, and then bring down your minus x. All right, next thing on our list, move the variables to one side. So once again, I've got an x on one side, and I've got a minus x on the other. So we don't want x on both sides, so we get rid of the smaller one. What's smaller? It's just x, so that's positive 1x, so we have a 1x, or a minus, there's no number there, so it's a 1, minus 1x. So if I've got an x and a minus 1x, I want to get rid of this one because it's smaller. All right, so then how would you get rid of a minus x? What's the opposite of subtracting x? So we're going to move variables to one side by adding x to both sides. So we're going to add 1x. So plus x plus x. So then x plus x is 2x. Bring down our minus 6. Bring down our equal sign. All that's left over here is a minus 1. So now we have 2x minus 6 equals negative 1. Back to just a plain two-step equation, which you all have been doing really good on. Name it, do the opposite. So we've got 2 times x minus 6, so it's multiplying and subtracting. So the opposite would be we're going to add and divide. So we're going to add 6 to both sides. Gives us 2x comes down. That cancels out. -1 plus 6 is 5. And then divide both sides by 2. So we just end up with x equals 5 over 2, because when we're dealing with solving for equations, if we have a fraction answer, if we have a division and it's going to give us a decimal, we don't want decimals. We just leave them as fractions. We don't want decimal answers. So x equals 5 over 2. All right, so if you have questions on this, if you got to the end and you're not sure how we got it, go back, rewatch it. All right, see what I did. Make sure you have the notes wrote down. If you have questions, on Tuesday, there will be a Google Meet, so you can jump on there, ask me questions. We'll go through the problems again if you want to. Make sure you understand it. We got to make sure everybody knows what's going on. All right, so now something new. Multi-step equations have 3 possible types of solutions. The first one is one solution. You solve for the variable and you end up with just one answer. That's just like the last 2 problems we had. All right, we solved it and we got x equals 5 over 2. I don't want to go all the way back like that, but so you solve it, you get to the end, you get like x equals 3 for your answer. Or you get all the way to the end and you get y equals 7 or a equals -2. It's all the equations we've been doing. When you solve, you just get one answer. But there's 2 other types of things that could happen. You could have no solution. No solution is when you solve for the variable and you get different numbers on each side. So this would be if the x's both cancel each other out and you end up with an answer like 4 equals 9. Well, 4 equals 9, that's impossible. 4 doesn't equal 9, so you get no solution. But what happens if you cancel out your variables and you end up with something like 5 equals 5? Well, that's true. So it's infinite solutions. Infinite solutions, you solve for the variable and you get the same numbers on each side. So what I want you to do for this slide is you're going to pause it and all you need to write down is one solution and then write the example. So one solution, x equals 3. So you just get a regular, your variable equals a number. Then write down no solution and write something like 4 equals 9 or 2 equals 7 or -30 equals 42. You've got 2 numbers and they're different. Then you can write infinite solutions and put an example where the numbers are the same, like 5 equals 5 or 2 equals 2 or -3 equals -3. Question, think about this one. What if you got +5 equals -5? Are those the same numbers? No. You have a positive and a negative, so they're different. So that would be no solution. They have to be the exact same number. All right, so make sure you pause this and wrote those things down. And now we're going to go on to an example where we'll get one of these 3. So let's take a look. All right, we have 2 more that we're going to do together. Then I'll give you some to work on your own. And then we'll be done with our notes. So let's take a look. Solve this equation. So go ahead and pause the video, write this problem down. -3x minus x equals -2x plus 7 minus 2x. Hopefully you've paused the video by now and wrote this down. If you're just watching and not writing it down, you might struggle a little bit. I'm telling you, it's going to make your things much easier on yourself in the end if you write it down, solve it as we do it. So let's look at our notes. What comes first? Don't call me after midnight. First thing is don't. Don't starts with a D. D is for distribute. Distribute. So do I have any parentheses? Anything I'm going to distribute? Nope, none of those. So we go to the next thing. Combine like terms. Combine like terms. So can I combine a -3x minus x? Yeah, I've got x for both of them. I can combine those. So what is -3x minus x? Well, if you have -3x's and then you take away another x, you're now at -4x's. And then on the other side, if we look, I have a -2x plus 7 minus 2x. So can I get rid of anything? Not get rid of, but I mean combine anything? Can't combine a 7 with nothing, but I can combine a -2x and a -2x. If I have -2x and I take away 2 more x's, I'm now at what? Hopefully you said negative 4x, not 0. The signs are the same. We combine them, negative 4x. So let's take a look. Negative 3x minus x is negative 4x. Negative 2x and a minus 2x is negative 4x. And then we have a plus 7. So now, what's our next step? Don't call me after midnight. M is for move. Move the variables to one side. So this is one of those where, okay, which one should I get rid of? Get rid of the smaller one, but they're exactly the same. So no matter which one you pick, you're going to add 4x to both sides. These cancel out. All you have left on this side is 7. These cancel out. There's nothing there. We can't just leave it blank. The answer is not just 7. Anytime everything on one side cancels out, put a 0. So now I've got 0 equals 7. So is that a true statement? Does 0 equal 7? Nope. 0 does not equal 7. 0 is never equal to 7. So that means our answer is no solution. No solution. All right. Nothing will make the equation true. So it's no solution. All right. Let's look at one more. Solve 3 multiplied by 2x minus 5 equals 6x minus 15. All right. So we're going to check our notes. First thing, distribute. So we have distributive property. So if we look, do I have any parentheses? Yes, I do. So I need to distribute 3 times 2x is 6x. 3 times negative 5 or 3 times minus 5, same thing, gives you negative 15 or minus 15. And then you bring down your equal 6x minus 15. So then I look and say, okay, second thing on my list, combine like terms. Can I combine 6x minus 15? Nope, they're not like terms. Same thing's over here, so not like terms. So then I move down to my next thing on the list. See why it's important you wrote down the steps that I told you right at the beginning of the video? It's very important. You're going to use this for every equation. When you get your assignments, if you write down the equation, use the steps, you will get done with your assignments much faster with a lot less mistakes and end up doing a lot less problems. So please write them down and solve them that way. So if we look, we want to get rid of one of our x's. I have a 6x and a 6x. Does not matter which one we get rid of. We're going to subtract 6x no matter what. So those cancel out. All that's left is negative 15. Cancel out. All that's left is negative 15. Is negative 15 equal to negative 15? Yes, they are. So that means infinite solutions. So you would write down negative 15 equals negative 15, and then make sure you write infinite solutions. If you forget to write the infinite solutions, then you will get this problem counted incorrect. So you got to make sure you write that down. All right, and it's infinite solutions because no matter, like it says here, any number will make the equation true. No matter what number you pick for x, if you put it in for the x's, your both sides will end up equal. I could put 2 here and 2 here. It'll work. I could put 75 here and 75 here. The equation will come out to the same thing on both sides. Whatever number you picked, it would work. All right, so I've got 4 here for you to try. So what you're going to do is write these down. This is your Tuesday assignment. All you have to do on Tuesday is watch this video and then do these 4 examples, and then you're done. That's it. That's all you had to do. And then I'll go ahead and post your assignments for Wednesday and Thursday if you want to go ahead and do them. But if you just want to do today's work only, it's just solving these equations. So pause the video, try these equations, see what you get, and then play the video, and the answers are going to pop up. All right. If you get lost or you get stuck, you can go ahead and play the video, see what the answers are, check, make sure you did them right. If you get stuck on it and you miss it and you have a question, email me, let me know. We'll have a Google Meet tomorrow for the whole class, but if you just want to meet and have a Google Meet with just us so I can go over it with you, maybe you don't want everybody in the class to know that you a little confused, that's fine. Let me know and we'll set something up so I can make sure you know what's going on. All right, so pause the video, try these. Hopefully by now you've hit play and you're like, okay, I've already tried them. Go ahead and show the answers. All right, but I want to make sure everybody has tried the problem. So here we go. Let's take a look. Number one, you should have got -2 equals 4, which is no solution. So if we look, you should have did 8x minus 3x is a 5x on both sides. So subtract 5x to get rid of those. And then you ended up with -2 equals 4. So no solution. Number two, 2 times 4 is 8. 2 times x is 2x. Then you would get rid of the 2x on both sides, and you end up with 8 equals -6. No solution. Number three, got to combine like terms. 7x plus 5x gives you 12x. Bring down your -3. 2 times 6x is 12x. 2 times 3 is 6. Then you can bring down your -9. Combine your 6 and -9 gives you -3. Then you end up having to get rid of your 12x's, and you end up with -3 equals -3, which is infinite solutions. Infinite solutions. And then your last one, 4m plus 3, you can't do anything with that, so you bring that down, equals 3 times m is 3m. 3 times -2 is -6, and then bring down your +9. Combine your -6 plus 9, which gives you 3. And then you end up with 4m plus 3 equals 3m plus 3. So then you got to get rid of one of your m's. The smaller one's 3m. I would subtract 3m from both sides. So you end up with m plus 3 equals 3. And then subtract 3 from both sides, and you end up with m equals 0, because you would do 3 minus 3, and you on the right side, there would be nothing left, so you'd have to write 0. So you have 1m equals 0, which is just m equals 0. All right, so let's go on to the next thing. Your assignment for Wednesday is going to be 8th grade W9, get it to a 90. Your assignment for Thursday is going to be 8th grade W11, get it to a 90. As of right now, you're not going to have to do these. And then Friday is just like a missing work makeup day. It's a chance for you to, if you need to set up a one-on-one Google Meet, Friday's a good time for us to do that. If you have missing work from the week that you need to finish, Friday's a good time to do that. Or you got everything done for the week, then you're off on Friday. All right, so if you have any questions, email me, let me know, and I will get ready to go ahead and post this video, post your assignments for the week so you can work at your own pace. It's all going to be graded by next Monday. I'll come in next Monday and put all these grades in. So you've got till then to make sure you've got these assignments done. 8th grade W9, which is Wednesday's assignment. 8th grade W11, which is Thursday's assignment. Like I said, you don't have to do the Algebra 1 assignment as of now, so don't worry about doing that. All right, let me know if you have any questions.